Hello, friends, and happy Friday. I'm Pastor Edwin Estevez, and I'm here at Grace Church in downtown Wilmington. And I'll tell you about where I'm standing in just a moment. But just a couple things I want to let you know about. First off, this coming Sunday, we're launching a new sermon series, Exile. We're doing this as a pre-Advent warm-up. We tried this last year as a way to test it, and we thought it was a really great way to connect this season with the larger season of Advent that, of course, we all look forward to in its rich liturgy and traditions, and, of course, as we get to Christmas. So as a way to prepare for Advent, we know that the story of the people of Israel is a story of exile. It's a story of not really being home where you are welcomed, but always being under threat. And in fact, we're going to look at Genesis 3 as the beginning of this exile. We're going way back to the idea of being expelled from the garden as the exile and how that frames our exile within this world. And I'm really excited about sharing this series with you because I think it'll help identify a lot of the things that we struggle with as people, as communities around the world. But it'll also give us a sense of how we are called to live as exiles. And Scripture has a powerful way of talking about that. So I hope you'll join us Sunday in the usual ways that you can. Our 1025 virtual worship service, our 8 o'clock 96.9 FM radio broadcast, our 9 o'clock outdoor prayer service, and of course with our partner church, Riverfront Church at 5:05 is an evening worship opportunity on Facebook and on Zoom. So I hope you'll find a way to connect. Here are a couple other things I want you to know. If you have been stirred in your faith journey, if you've been connected with Grace Church for a while, you have some questions, you have some doubt about the Scripture, about who God is and what we're called to do in response to God's grace, I would love for you to consider membership. And there are two ways to get connected to Grace Church. One of them is just traditional membership. These are membership classes, and they're going to begin later in November. We learn about church history, and we learn specifically about Grace Church. We learn about the United Methodist Church and its heritage. We learn about basic questions about the Christian faith and theology. And then, of course, you become a voting member, so to speak. At Grace Church, you participate in Charge Conference as a leader or a church conference as a congregation. And there are lots of all sorts of details about that. If you're feeling called to do that, I would love to have a conversation with you about that. Or you can also talk to Pastor Chelsea. We'd love to explore with you what that looks like. What is the calling of a member at Grace Church? But if you're not quite ready to do that, or perhaps you don't live in the state of Delaware, or you don't plan to be going into a sanctuary anytime soon, we offer another opportunity. This is called what we're calling the Grace Church FAM, From Home Affiliated Membership, FAM. This is an opportunity for those, again, who might not feel comfortable joining us for worship in person for a long time, or may even live outside of the state of Delaware. You may already be a member of another church. We recognize that in our day and age, you can be a member of several organizations and believe in what they're doing and support with what they're doing and engage with what they're doing. So this is just another opportunity for you to engage with your faith. What are those opportunities? There are opportunities for you to participate not only in the community at Grace Church, but to learn more about what we're doing, to volunteer, to learn more about your faith and be in conversation with a pastor. You'd also be put on our pastoral care list so that we make sure that we're checking in with you regularly about not only your life in general, but specifically your spiritual life. What are ways that we can be praying for you? What are ways that we can be connected in terms of our faith? Other potential opportunities are having an event here at Grace Church. And collaborating with an organization you're already connected with. So there are lots of ways that Grace Church FAM can look like. And we'd love for you to consider that, explore that, pray about it. Talk to one of the pastors about it, myself or Pastor Chelsea. We'd love to hear from you. So we're going to continue to share that with you every week and give you more information as requested. So again, please prayerfully consider that. And we're really excited to welcome you to the Grace Church family. And lastly, I just want to share about where I am. I am standing on the third floor. This is the third floor kitchenette. And on the other side, if you were to remember, if you've ever taken a tour of Grace Church campus, this used to be the archive space. The archives has been moved to the second floor, and it's being curated by our church historian, Jan Broski, with help from people like Eric Mark, Al Taylor, who have volunteered their time. Trustees have supported with software and equipment to really organize our archives. Our archives have never been more organized than they are now. But with this additional space, we've been dreaming up what are some possibilities? What are some possible uses? And so as we dream together, even in the challenges of the pandemic, even in the challenges of our financial situation, we are so thankful that so many of you have stepped up to the 2020 challenge. The 2020 challenge is a way to address the financial challenges and volunteer your time, volunteer your expertise, and volunteer your treasure, your monies to help support our ministry here at Grace Church. And of that support, we are grateful for some of you who've stepped up to offer your expertise about redesigning this space to be used as a third floor kitchen where our ministry groups here at Grace Church that help with food distribution, where Servium Girls Academy in partnership might be able to use this space, where we could potentially have an event in the upper room or in the parlor, a concert, a dramatic storytelling, a gathering of some kind, and this kitchen could service that event. So it really opens Grace Church up to a lot of opportunities for programming, for fundraising, for collaborating and partnering. So we just want you to keep this in prayer as a potential space for a third floor kitchen as the trustees and the leadership team discern the wisdom of going forward with a project like this and getting the information we need to be able to fund it. And I just want to use this as an opportunity to let you know Grace Church continues to dream about the ways that it can serve the community, the ways it can respond to God's grace, and it can do so because of your faithful giving. So thank you that in addition to your regular offerings and pledges, you have stepped up to the 2020 challenge. Friends, I hope to see you Sunday. May God bless you, and happy Friday.